Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Bean here, and today I'm coming at you with my February wrap-up. Now, in the month of February, I feel like I need to preface this a little bit. I got pretty sick. I was sick for a solid 10 days where I was having hot flashes and cold flashes, and it was just kind of a bad time. So I didn't end up reading nearly as much as I wanted to. I had headaches a lot. It was a bad time. So but I did manage to read 6 books in the month of February. So I'm just gonna hop right in. We'll start with some stats. I only ended up giving one book 5 stars this month, and then 4 of them got 4 stars and 1 got 3.5 stars. One book that was over 600 pages, 3 books that were between 300 and 500 pages, and then 2 books that were between 100 and 300 pages. That's the easiest way for me to do that because I did listen to several audiobooks and I'm kind of vaguely guesstimating because audiobooks don't always equate to the number of pages. It's a whole thing. Anyways, as far as where I got these books from, 2 of these books I owned. Yeah. 2 of them were from the library. 1 was an audiobook I rented off of Scribd, and then 1 was an ARC off of NetGalley. See, I read an ARC again this time, guys. I'm really proud of myself for that one. As far as genre goes, 2 of these were fantasy. 1 was a comedy manga. 1 is a magical realism. 1 was a mystery, and 1 was a romance. So I ended up getting through them pretty well. That does not include the books that I have started. I'm in the middle currently of 3 books that were on my TBR for this month. So I am listening to a couple. I am reading one. So I'm in the middle of a bunch of books, and I haven't decided if I'm going to count that towards my TBR or not for March, but we'll get there soon. But yeah, so we're just gonna hop in. I know that those stats were just kind of a mess, but that kind of matches me right now. So I'm still figuring out my life after being sick. So we're gonna hop right into it. The first book that I read was an audiobook actually, and I listened to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I finally finished this 3rd one. I am halfway through the 4th one. The 4th one was always the hardest one for me to get through, honestly. But the 3rd Harry Potter book has always been my favorite. I ended up giving this a 5 out of 5 because, again, I love this book. And yeah, it was good. I love the introduction of Sirius. I love the introduction of that sort of storyline. So I was really satisfied with it. Again, I forgot a lot of little details that happened. I'm really glad I'm rereading this again because, oh my gosh, so much happens, guys. And it's so crazy. But I did enjoy it, and again, like I said, I'm continuing on with my reread of this series. The next book that I read was a manga, and that is The Way of the House Husband, Volume 1 by Kosuke Ono. This one I gave 4 out of 5 to. It is a comedy, slice of life manga, and it follows our main character, whose name I can't remember, who used to be one of the top killers in the Yakuza, and he has left that life behind in order to become a house husband. And it's all about him attempting to fit in with normal day life when he just looks like a Yakuza, and he is well known for being this big killer. I'm getting slight John Wick vibes off of this, not gonna lie, and I am enjoying it. It's a little weird. I almost want to say intense for a slice of life for me, but it's got some really funny moments. My library does have the first 5, so I do plan on reading those. They're cute. They're just cute stories, or it's a cute story, and I'm very intrigued to see what the actual plot of it's going to be. I do believe it is also an anime, but don't quote me on that. I haven't looked it up yet, so vamos a ver. We will see. Overall, I would recommend it for people who have a sense of humor and who enjoy John Wick, but with an anime twist to it. So the next book I read is one that I kind of picked up on a whim at Barnes & Noble, and that's Soul Keeper by David Dalglish. This is the first book in the Keepers trilogy. It is a completed trilogy, so that's kind of nice. There is an ending in sight for this one. It's a fantasy story that's basically a apocalypse fantasy. So humans live in this world. It feels very medieval-like, and one day the gods end up coming back, and these humans haven't seen the gods for centuries, so they have no idea who they are, and the stories have been lost to time and to the greed of people. And not only have the gods returned, but magic has returned, and so have the monsters. And this follows our main character. Devon, who was a soul keeper, so basically a priest, who now has to become a monster hunter. And it's very interesting because it does kind of approach the whole different stages of denial that everybody goes through in accepting, oh, things are really changing right now and nobody wants them to change as much as they are. And it was very well done. I really did enjoy this book. I'm super intrigued, and I'm very curious about the direction they're going. I didn't see the ending coming at all. So I do plan on picking up the second and probably the third book in the series as well. I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5. Not to say I didn't like it. I did like it. It wasn't my favorite, but it was still very well done, and I do plan to continue with it. And those are the only 2 books from this TBR that I own. All right. Moving on, the next book that I read was Beast Boy Loves Raven, the 3rd book in the Teen Titans series by Kami Garcia and illustrated by Gabrielle Piccolo. This is such a fun series. It really is very enjoyable. I still love the art style. I love how they portrayed the characters that are very beloved to me. I love Beast Boy and Raven. They are 2 of my favorite characters from the Teen Titans. And I do like the direction that this is going. I didn't really see it coming as much, but I am intrigued by it, and we got to meet some new characters in this one that obviously you recognize because they're from the comics. But again, I reiterate, this series is not canon, so don't go into it thinking it is, but it does take a very interesting turn, and it does have a different kind of interpretation of the origin of these characters, and I absolutely love it. So the next book that's actually coming out in this series is Robin. So I believe it follows our youngest Robin. So Damian Wayne, I believe, is the Robin that it follows. But I'm not positive, so I'll have to double check on that one. I think it was Damian Wayne, though, if I remember correctly. I enjoyed this one. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It wasn't my favorite of the series, but I still really enjoyed it. The next book that I finished was an audiobook, and it was Murder at the Vicarage, the 1st book in the Miss Marple series by Agatha Christie. I'm getting back into it, guys. I'm doing more Agatha Christie stories because she has more books rather than just Hercule Poirot, though Poirot did take me like 2 years to finish the whole series. I'm super excited. Miss Marple doesn't have as many books in her series, but the first one was really good, and it was interesting because in this story, Miss Marple is not the main character. She's actually the neighbor of our main character, who is the vicar, or the minister of the town, if you will. And it was a very interesting concept because basically someone's murdered at the vicarage, or at a very holy place. And it's kind of a big deal. And unfortunately, the person who was murdered, no one liked. So it's like, well, who would kill him? Well, just about anybody. And so it was very interesting to see all of these different people work together, and then to have Miss Marple have put everything together already. And she wasn't quite as dramatic as Poirot, which no one's as dramatic as Hercule Poirot, let's be honest here. But she still did a very thorough and very interesting job of introducing these characters and introducing the way that Miss Marple goes about and discovers everything. So it's very good. It's very different because you also have the difference between being male and female at this time period, because this is written in the 30s. So there is a very different sort of dynamic between men and women, and so especially older women at the time. That's how the culture was at the time. Thankfully it's changed since then, but yeah, it's so interesting, and historically I am very intrigued by this series as well. The last book I read in the month of February, I know this is a really quick video, was By Any Other Name by Lauren Kate. This was an ARC. It comes out actually on March 1st, so the day that I'm filming this. And it was really good. It was really cute. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5. Oh, I didn't say. I gave The Murder at the Vicarage 4 out of 5 as well. I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5. It is a romance. It does come out technically today, so it would have come out a couple days ago. It's very cute. If this follows a woman named Lainey who is an editor at a publishing firm, and she thinks she has her life completely together. She's engaged to this awesome guy who crosses off everything on her list of 99 things that her man needs to have. But she has 99 things that her man needs to fit into, and she has this guy, and he's perfect, and she has this perfect job that she loves, and then all of a sudden she is given the opportunity to become the editor for her very favorite romance author, which is really cool. And she jumps at the opportunity, but it does end up kind of throwing her life into a little bit of chaos because new jobs kind of changed things, and this one changed a lot more than she expected. I don't want to give away spoilers. The twist is a little obvious, especially since it's a romance. So if you don't want spoilers, don't watch until my hand's down. So basically, the spoiler, I don't even want to say spoilers, it happens less than halfway through, but her favorite romance author is a male, and she just thinks it's female the entire time, so she feels completely betrayed, which is fine, but also I think she overreacted by a shit ton. Like, if I were to find out an author is like a male or a female when I thought they were the other, oh, that's cool, whatever. No, she like gets mad, and I'm like, why? Why? You still like their writing? I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. Anyways, one thing leads to another, and it's very cute. You can come back now. It's a very cute story. It's got some interesting moments. It deals a lot with like past issues again, and I thought it was well done. It's not my favorite that I've read, but I did think that there was a solid appreciation for books in this book, as well as an appreciation for the fact that the author has writer's block, and that's kind of the issue, is that if Lainey doesn't get this author to write their new book that's now 4 months late, she's going to lose her job. And so it kind of is riding on that. And so it becomes a very tense situation, and it's very interesting, very weird, because I didn't realize that was kind of a thing. So I don't know if it is an actual thing or if they just made it dramatic for the book, but I'm intrigued, and it was such a cute story. I highly recommend it if you like the cutesy enemies to lovers romance, because that's technically what it is enemies to lovers, technically. So that's what I got for you guys here today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. We post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and the occasional Sunday. And if you want to be reminded when we post these videos, please hit the little bell icon down below. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep reading. Bye!